Welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be working on my 1UZ240SX and I'll be putting a limited slip differential in it. So right now, and under any acceleration at all, it just spins a passenger tire, and if you really get on it, it just annihilates it. So it's not really too much fun. You can't slide around, you can't do much. It's horrible in the rain. So I'll show you what I got and then we'll get to it. I hope everything here is going to work. I've been all over the forums, and this is a common swap. This is a 3.9 or 3.9 something, but 3.9 gear ratio, or vlsd, out of a j30 that I got to pick apart, which is not too expensive. This has, I got to change this to my s13 one, and this has 5 bolts, and mine has 3 sets of 2 bolts. So I grabbed the axles too, which are supposed to just slide in. No one's just said that they just slide in, but they just say you just need those axles. So I'm hoping this just drops in, that drops in, and no more one-wheel peel. These felt alright, and this thing, I can't believe, being viscous, how tight this thing is. It's legit. So I'm going to get this one, get this thing up in the air and get that bad boy out of there. I got the old diff and axles out. We'll just go over the differences. This is the S13. That's the J30. First thing is the cover. The S13 hard mounts to the subframe. The J30 has bushings in the subframe these go through. So I gotta swap the covers to work in my car. One of the problems I might have is that this is bush 2 up here, and this is solid. So if I was just to bolt this in with the bushings, this would allow some flex, but this would still be solid, so any amount of torque going into it is going to be all on the cover, and I've heard about them breaking. I've only read a couple posts about them breaking while doing that. Now, I may not have enough power to hurt it, but I read people stacking washers here so that it pinches on the case, and this is just lining it up. I'll probably do that for now until I can, borrow a lathe or use a lathe. I got plenty of aluminum to cut down to make it nice, but I plan on driving it tomorrow, so we'll stack some washers. Let's see, next thing, the J30 has this here. I think I believe the ABS S13s, with the limited slip and ABS, it would be the same. It would have this too. So this is like 3/4 of an inch longer than this diff. But I've got plenty of slop in my drive shaft. It's got a slip in it. It slips about this far, which I really didn't like. I told them it was for an independent suspension car so that they would make it, just slip in a little bit so you can get it in and then slide it out. But they made it for like a full-wheel drive truck, so it slipped in all the way to here. So having this take some of that out, I'm happy about that. And I didn't quite realize just how clapped this thing was. I don't know if you can really tell, but you can grab the outputs and rock them around a good bit. Where this thing is just solid. There's no rocking, no wear. And this only had 170,000. This one had to be about the same. But I guess all the burnouts and that this was doing, because of it being open over the years, it's just worn out the spiders and just worn it out, and this having a limited slip just helped it deal with all that, because it doesn't feel bad. It's tight. So I'm happy about that. Should make a nicer ride and quit doing one-wheel burnouts. Now we'll go on to the axles. That's the S13 open diff. That's the J30. Lengthwise, they seem to be pretty much the same. The J30 must have had a seal in the bearing or in the knuckle, where this just kind of has this little dust seal, and this one does too, but it doesn't have that shoulder. But looking at it side by side, the shoulder still lines up with this, so lengthwise, they're pretty much the same on both sides, so it should drop right in. Shouldn't have any problems. These are the same, spline count and size. Everything else, it should just go in. But for now, I gotta swap the covers, and I really want to see what this looks like inside. I've never seen a viscous LSD. I don't know how it works. I've seen clutch types and helical gears and lockers, but I really want to see if you can even see how it works. But for now, I gotta get the covers off, and we'll go from there. Here's the S13's open diff. And here's the viscous limited slip. You really can't see what makes it do what it does. All you see is spider gears. So, the oil looks fine. The gasket actually stayed together, so I'm going to clean up the S13 cover and clean this up just a little bit. I'm just going to slap it back together. Go get some washers and shove it in the car. Now that I was looking at it a little closer, when I rock this, look how loose that is. That's me rocking the output. It was healthy. It's all back together. Everything is bolted up just the way it came out. The axles went in just fine. The only thing I had to do was stack some washers here so that it didn't just smush the bushing, and now it's solid like the S13 one. But there was nothing else to it. Drive shaft right back on, axles bolted right back in. 3.9 final drive is definitely better on the highway. This would be about 3,500 or above, roughly. It's not that big of a change, but it's nice not to be revving the crap out of a V8 for no reason. We'll see how she does without slip. Because they're all shifting a little early now, but it cruises at a much better RPM, and I can actually leave out of first without just blowing one tire off, so I'm pretty happy. And the rear end not being clapped out like the factory one was, it doesn't shake anywhere near as much, so I still got a little bit. I think the polyurethane mounts are still a little rough, but they're bearable. I still got to fix the drive shaft just a little. They didn't weld it the straightest. It's got weight on there where they balanced it, but you can see that the end is kind of welded on crooked, and I don't like that. I want to get it on a lathe, cut it, and weld it straight, because I think it's going to wear the hell out of the bushing in the transmission. But everything seems to be working pretty good, much better. And if anybody wants to do this to theirs, it's an Infinity J30. I don't know what all years they are. Mine came out of a 94. Supposedly they're all limited slips. The 94 or 93, 94, maybe 95 is supposed to have the 5-bolt axles. And supposedly the S13, if it has a limited slip factory, the factory 240 axles will bolt right to it. Mine was not limited slip, so I had to take the axles too, and they just flopped right in. Now, the 96, 97, or some form of that, I think it was 96 and 97 model, has limited slip, and it's 6-bolt, like the factory S13, non-limited slip. So if you can find one of those, it bolts in using your existing axles. If not, just take the axles too. It just bolts right in. Easy peasy. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.